Hello, we are working on coordinate grids and graphing or putting ordered pairs on a graph like this. So this graph has two axes. It has this axis on the bottom where the numbers are, and that is the x-axis. And we have this axis going up vertically, and that is the y-axis. Now these two axes are part of a graph, and they will help us, the numbers will help us plot the ordered pair. So an ordered pair is two numbers that go together that tell us an exact location of something on this graph. The first number in our ordered pair tells us how many spaces to go to the right. The second number tells us how many spaces from the right we have to go up. So for example, if we had an ordered pair in parentheses, they always have this parenthesis, then a comma or parenthesis, one number that tells us how many spaces to go right, then a comma, then the second number that tells us how many spaces to go up, and then a parenthesis. So there are 5 parts, 2 parentheses, 2 numbers, and a comma in an ordered pair. So looking at this example here, it tells us 7, 6. So that 7 means how many spaces to the right we go. And the 6 tells us how many spaces up we go. Now, well, can I just start anywhere and go over 7 and up 6? No, you cannot do that. You always have to start at the 0, 0 in the bottom corner. So you start at the 0, 0, and I'm actually just going to grab a point here. You start at 0, 0, and if I'm going to plot that point, 7, 6, I go all the way to the 7, so I go 7 spaces right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And it's actually not this space right here, but it's actually the lines. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it's the line after the space. So however you want to look at it. All right, and then I need to go up 6 spaces, or 6 lines. So I'm going up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So if I were to draw my finger down, it would match the 7 because I went 7 to the right. And then if I were to go across, it should line up with the 6. So that is plotting this ordered pair of 7, 6. So let's plot some more points. So here we have 3, 2. So I start at 0, 0. I have to go over 3. 1, 2, 3. And then the second number 2 tells me I need to go up 2 spaces. 1, 2. And there we go. Now my next ordered pair right here is 4, 5. So, all right, so I'm going to always start at 0, 0. I go over 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I go up 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And I always like to double check and make sure that that's lining up with the 4 and then the 5. And this one is 3 and 2. Now you might be thinking, well, yeah, what if it's 2 and 3? Well, if it was 2 and 3 or 5 and 4 like this, it would actually be different. So we have to be careful that we're always going to the right because this is a totally different point. Because yes, it's still on the 5 and the 4, but that would be different if it was 5 first because it would go over 5 spaces and up 4. See how they have different positions on our graph. So our next one is 8, 8. So, oh, that is the same. So it should be pretty easy. I go over 8 all the way to the 8 and I go all the way up to the 8. So as long as we're always going right and then up, we shouldn't have a problem. All right, the next two can be confusing because of the 0. So this right here is the 0 line going across. This line right here, even though it doesn't really seem to be a part of our graph, it is also the 0 line. Just like this is the 1 line going up, the 2 line, this is the 0 line. So this first one here is 0, 5. So that means I go over 0 spaces, but I go over 0 spaces, so I stay right there on that line, but I still have to go up 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now this one is the opposite. It's telling us we need to go over 5 and up zeros. So I start at 0, 0, I go over 5, and I do not go up any. Now that is how we do our ordered pairs and we plot them on a graph.